Everyone rise. Hear ye, hear ye. The Hamblen County Commission is now in session. The Honorable Bobby Hahn presiding. Please remain standing.
Thanks for attending tonight for this February 20th, 2025 meeting of our Hamblen County Commission. I will ask that Commissioner Kyle Walker will lead us in prayer.
Bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, grant us the wisdom to serve others efficiently and sensitively. Help us to listen carefully and speak words that offer comfort, encouragement, and guidance. Show us when to offer help and when to offer space, balance, and desire to be involved with respect for others. Provide us with your wisdom to see solutions to the problems and to overcome obstacles and always aimed at uplifting those around us. Strengthen us with your spirit that we may serve to do the right things for all Hamblen County residents. Amen.
Amen. Remain standing. Ask Mike Richardson, Commissioner Richardson, lead us in prayer. Pledge, please.
Place the flag. Salute the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We thank all of our commissioners for being here tonight. We'll ask that you turn your devices off and your microphones on. Attendance of our general public, you're always welcome here. Your opinions are regarded highly. Thank you very much. I want to remind everyone that we do operate on Robert's Rules of Order, and unless a local rule oversees that. Okay? So let's keep it civil and let's have a good meeting. Mr. Walker, will you step back and get the sign-in sheet? Yeah, we'll have to do roll call.
Nobody's on, I guess. Ain't nobody's on.
No one's, okay. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Debbie Ahern. Here. Danny Bell.
Here.
Thomas Doty.
Here.
Edna Green.
Here.
Stan Harble.
Here.
Bobby Hahn.
Here.
Tim Horner.
Here.
Joe Huntsman.
Here.
Peggy Howe.
Here.
Rodney Long.
Here.
Mike Reed.
Here.
Mike Richardson.
Here.
Wayne Neesmith. Kyle Walker.
Here.
13 present.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we can get down to business. Our first order of business tonight will be a special recognition. I don't know, Sonia.
She's here.
She is? Very
Right there.
good. Will you, hi, thank you. Will you meet us in the well, please? Along with her commissioner, Edna Green, and Mayor Cutshaw.
Which way you gonna go?
I'll go this way. I don't think I get through those. You did say no, right?
Yep.
Did
Yep.
I misunderstood you?
Nope.
Excuse me, I'll get pictures. Honey, I apologize. I had no idea it had not been open. On this side, these folks don't care.
We also have Mr. Long, Commissioner Long with us. He wants to say a few words.
Sonia, congratulations. I work with her on the board, I serve on the soil conservation board. Couldn't do it without her. And I know from all the board members, I want to say thank you. Keep up the good work.
I'd like to say, for Ms. Ricker, for 25 years of service is extraordinary, and when you have that amount of service, the knowledge that comes with that responsible. Thank you, Sonia, for what you do and for being there and keeping driving straight.
This reads Hamblen County Government Years of Service Award to Sonia Ricker, District Secretary Soil Conservation, 25 years. We applaud you.
Please, I'd like to congratulate you on an excellent job. I like to see women take the lead and do their job, and you are an excellent example of that, lady. Thank you.
Rotate in through here.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. If it don't involve work, I'll let them. Thank you.
Quite an accomplishment, 25 years.
Let us know we get
Well, she's
chubby.
not through yet.
No, and she looks, she must have started when she was 12, I guess.
Yes. She's got good genes, Bobby.
We have a addition to our speaking platform. One of our commissioners, Danny Bell, has asked to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At our committee meeting, our law enforcement, the gentleman down at the front desk was kind of challenged as to why he stopped us and everything. I appreciate what he did. I appreciate so much because the security that we have is for our protection. And personally, I was stopped myself, and I thanked him for being responsive because I did not know who he was. And I just want to, because the sheriff's here and others, I want to thank our law enforcement for all they do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bell, and I think we all will concede that. Also at this time, Matt's has turned in their Hamblen County point in time count data, and this is from January 29, 2025. And I've been asked this question a few times on these numbers, and this is doesn't make you feel real good. It's not a really happy numbers, but in Hamblen County and this is on January 29th, so that's the middle of winter. I don't remember what the temperature was on the 29th, but I'm assuming it's probably pretty cold. We had 105 homeless individuals in our county. And I know the mayor and I, we were talking about this, and I think it will take a minute here just to break this down where these folks were during this time. Of the 105, 2 of them were in abandoned buildings. 43 were in cold night shelters. 21 were in emergency shelters. So they had a roof over their head. But from here on, we had 3 sleeping in a park, 16 on a street or sidewalk, 1 was in an underpass, 13 were in their vehicle, and 6 others were in the woods or outdoor encampments. And that culminates into 105 individuals. And I know out of 65,000 people in this county, that's probably a small percentage, but just 1 would be heartbreaking. And so, and commissioners, you do have that in your packets if you want to take that out and put eyeballs on it. There's a lot of other data on there that we won't get into, but it's, boy, it's just really, it hit hard, you know, when you think about that. And I think when I walked outside this afternoon to get my truck to come up here, I went back inside and got a heavy coat. It was 21 degrees, and that was in late afternoon. So we have a lot to be thankful for, And we have these folks right here, these citizens, these individuals of different ages, different backgrounds, that don't have a place to put their head where it's warm. And that's heartbreaking. Move down to item number 2. Have citizen comments regarding general and non-agenda items. And again, you will have 3 minutes. Anyone with general or non-agenda items. Please state your name and address.
Justine Jones, 3436 Old Kentucky Road. I'm here tonight to formally request that this commission conduct a public review of the public comment rules to ensure they are clear, consistently applied, and fully aligned with our constitutional rights, particularly the First Amendment. This request comes after several concerning incidents at a recent meeting. A citizen was threatened with removal simply for naming a county official while discussing a matter of public concern, and an elected commissioner was threatened with removal from their seat simply for saying amen in response to a comment. Both of these incidents raised serious concerns about free speech and the rights of both citizens and elected officials to express themselves during public proceedings. Following that meeting, I emailed all the commissioners and the mayor asking for clarification on the legal basis for these actions. Only 4 commissioners replied. The mayor did not respond. Chairman Hahn responded but offered no legal explanation, only a vague statement that my research was incomplete. As a citizen, I believe we deserve more than vague responses when we ask legitimate questions about our constitutional rights. We deserve clear, transparent rules that are applied fairly and consistently. That is why I'm asking this commission to publicly review the current public comment policy to ensure that the rules are clearly written and easily accessible to the public. They are enforced fairly and consistently for all citizens and commissioners alike. And they are in full compliance with the First Amendment, including both free speech and religious expression. This is not about stirring up conflict. It is about ensuring that every citizen and every elected official can speak freely without fear of being silenced. A formal public review would demonstrate this commission's commitment to transparency, fairness, and respect for both the law and the people you represent. I respectfully request that this review be placed on a future meeting agenda so that the public can have confidence that the rules are both lawful and fair. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else on non-agenda items? State your name and address, please.
My name is Gwendolyn Holden. I live at 8150 West Point Drive. I want to talk about the money at the road department. I have got those people sued because you all wouldn't do anything about it. You all knew that they should not have that money. And you all wouldn't do anything about it. Nothing. And I don't think it's right for an attorney of the county to represent people that took money that did not belong to them to try to get it back. They should want to pay it back themselves. They haven't paid all of it back. They've paid some, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm a citizen of Hamblen County, lived here all my life. I would have never thought that this would ever have come to a head like this out at the road department. We need to get this money back. That is taxpayers' money. It doesn't belong to the road department. And you could tell me they work and do all you want to tell me, but I don't see anything that they do. Our potholes are not stopped up. Our roads are in bad shape. I've said it for 2 years. I'm a tax-paying citizen. I work. I worked at a minimum wage job. I'm not too good to do that. And they're not too good to pay that money back that they did not deserve. And I do want to say one thing. I do want to be nice about it. I do appreciate them getting a time clock out there. It took them forever to get a time clock so they can really tell what time they go to work and what time they get off. The road commissioners should use it because they're the ones that's taking the money, not the people that's working on the back of the sanitation truck. My goodness gracious, I can't believe y'all are like you are.
Thank you for your comments. Do you have anyone else for non-agenda items?
My name is Wendy Ellis, 598 Rippy-Toe. I'm standing in front of y'all today, and I'm mad and disgusted. Y'all had a commissioner saying that no campers around us was allowed. Did y'all read in the News Sentinel that Jefferson County is taxing them for living in them permanently? I know Granger County doesn't even have a planning and zoning. And some of yous that are going to be voting here on this stuff is doing some stuff in my county that y'all are voting against. Now that's why I'm mad. Plus, you all that say that you care about your district and their people, well, putting them out on the streets isn't caring. Not one bit. Now, my disgust is y'all are so worried about one camper on one piece of land, but we have illegal gangs in this community that is bringing street drugs that are killing our family and our loved ones. But do y'all care? Do y'all care? Y'all got so much money to help the addiction around this county. It should be going to the police department to get the drugs off the streets. Do you know what I was doing at noon today? I was saying goodbye to my cousin because of a street drug. We did an honor walk for him, but the drugs are still pouring in because of the illegals in this town. Do y'all care? Is it not personal enough to you before you start caring? I can tell you, and I've told you this before, God told me to fight this fight. And God also told me that two of you all that's going to vote to kick these people out are going to pay with your souls. So I suggest, if you don't know where you're going to go, you better start praying on it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else on non-agenda items? Yes, sir. State your name and address, please.
Eric Portner, 2775 Conrad Drive. I know most of y'all, and just let me introduce myself to the ones that don't. I've lived here 41 years, and 22 of those I've been a firefighter. 18 of those I've spent as a career firefighter as a lieutenant in Jefferson City. Taught for the State Fire Academy, TEMA, been around. And what I want to talk to y'all tonight is about funding our volunteer fire departments. I know that's coming up on the agenda. And guys, $75,000, it's a drop in the hat. Doesn't get much this day and time as a fire department. Now, I've not been solicited by any of the fire chiefs. I have no affiliation with any of the departments here. And guys, don't take this for, our volunteers do a great job with what they've got. But we give $75,000, so that's $300,000 for 4 departments. If you look at a one-station department like Jefferson City, the average budget is $1.2 million. So if you say that and we give each department here $1.2 million, that's $4 million. So our volunteer fire departments, for free, these guys are running out here doing this for free, are saving our county, you could roughly say $4 million. What happens when that money runs out? What happens when these guys can't do it? Mr. Green, first fire I ever went in was with your brother 21 years ago. What happens when there's no more volunteers? Fire truck costs are up 30% over the last 2 years. They're on a 2-year back order. what happens when we can't buy any more fire trucks? These guys are just barely keeping the lights on as it is. And so I'm here to say, you know, just ask that when budget comes up, let's look at this, because these guys are great. They're doing what they can. But just one, I know I'm getting close to my 3 minutes, but I just want to give one situation, if I can, at how important this money is to this community. The rescue squad serves all of Hamblen County for extrication, jaws of life. None of our Hamblen County fire departments that I know of right now are equipped to handle that type of call. They don't have extrication equipment. So Commissioner Long, if something happens up on Dover Road and the rescue squad is up there cutting a critical patient out of a car, and then down in District 14, another wreck happens, who's going to come and cut that car? Commissioner Doty, I've served with you. We've seen this time and time again. And unfortunately, the rescue squad, you know, they do a great job, but they're a volunteer agency too. We can't even get people to come to work. So getting people to come to volunteer is even harder. So
Thank you, Mr. Fortner. We appreciate those words. Thank you. Anyone else on non-agenda items? Item 2B, anyone want to speak regarding agenda items? Again, you'll have 3 minutes. Okay, see none, we'll move on. Item 3A, the appointment to Morristown Hamblen Humane Society Board. We have one nominee, is Chris Price. Anyone want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Horner. Call the roll.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
and Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Yes, 13.
Motion passes. Item 4, Calendar and Rules Committee, Chairman Doty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have item 4A, which is the approval of the calendar items, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
So moved.
Mrs. Ahern, thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Mr. Doty. All right, let's call the roll.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 4B, we have some additions to our regular calendar items. We'll take those up to add them prior to voting for the approval. The first addition will go into the Finance Committee, and it will fall as item 8D, and that is the Hamblen County Board of Education 2-year lease quotation and agreement with Mobile Modular Management Corporation, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Well, before we do that, we're gonna have, I'm sorry, you didn't get that on your notes. Hey, Jared Ladd, will you come speak on that?
So I come to you in regards to our Meadowview Middle School classroom enclosure project. we're projecting this to be a 2-year project. During the project, we need a place to house the students. So we want to lease 5 modular units to house the students while this project is ongoing. We didn't realize at first, until about 2 weeks ago, that we need your approval on this lease because it's a multi-year lease. It's a 24-month lease. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you're going, and so we know, because you're telling us that in 2 years, y'all will be into the building.
Yes, ma'am.
The regular building. And I already grilled him this earlier, but I just wanted to, and I appreciate it, because I had worried about security. You know, here we are, you know, the bad guy doesn't even have to break in a building, they just watch the kids walk by and kablooey. You know, I guess I worry about that. And, now, is this, so are you asking us, so have you got the money or not? Are we the money too?
Yes, we have the bond money already.
Okay,
You guys have already approved that. We just
Okay.
need the approval for the lease.
okay,
Because it goes over 2 years, because it goes more than the year you've already budgeted.
okay.
Even though we have the bond money, but the auditor told us we have to get your permission because it cuts over into the next.
Okay, and so 5 is,
We are displacing 9 classrooms of kids, which is why we have to have 5 modulars so that we can have 10 classrooms. Can't buy them smaller than the double wide. So we've got to have 10 classrooms. What we will do at Meadowview is move the 7th grade into that as soon as those modulars are done. The intent is they will start next school year in those modulars, and the 7th grade teachers will stay in those modulars for 2 years. And the way the project will work inside, half the school, close classroom, and they'll immediately flip over and start the other half. And when we've got it bid, we're gonna open bids for that whole project today, but because of the weather, we kick that into next week. With the intent of having that completely done in 2 years, both there and at Lincoln Middle, we're doing simultaneously.
okay.
Anything
Now-
else, Ms. Al?
Yes, sir. I guess I thought I remembered maybe you saying that there was an extra classroom or 2 at the new Lincoln.
There are extra classrooms at that school. They're not set up for what we need. The reason we needed to go to the modulars, we actually investigated doing this over a 4-year period and taking students from Meadowview and busing them over to the old Lincoln Elementary and configuring. But the amount of time that would have taken, the logistics to try to make sure you had the right supervision, that you could do all your career and technical education and related arts, have the students participate in sports and band and everything else, and the costs associated with running the bus routes and the loss of instructional time to make all that happen, made that an untenable option that we couldn't do. Hence, the reason to put the modulars on site with the same SRO that the kids are used to seeing each and every day, with the same teachers, and not have to try to shuttle them back and forth and be able to make this work.
So they'll be at Meadowview, these modulars.
The modulars have already been laid out. We've already awarded a site prep purchase order. Well, we approved it at the board. We're going through the purchase order process for that, and a road to be able to get the construction in. That is all in work right now.
All right. And I had asked him earlier, so you have to have it by July so that you can,
The intent is to have it done, set up, and completed so that when we start school next year, the 7th graders will go into those modulars. But we can get the work started to close those classrooms and increase the safety for those students and staff once we get this completed, and create a better learning environment and go away from the open classrooms where you can stand in one place, listen to 4 lectures at the same time. That's what I'm trying to get them away from.
Yes,
And
sir.
I went there when we opened it, and it's more chaotic now than it was when I started there the year we opened the school.
thank you for taking my questions. Thank you.
Mr. Huntsman.
In doing that, why does it take 2 years to take a remodel, when you can do a whole school in less than a year? This doesn't jive right with me.
Sir, it's a good question. We worked with the architect. It turned out that there'd been a lot of investigations done before I got here. But to be able to take everything out, put the right HVACs to control the temperature within the rooms, put all the technology back in, it may not take 2 full years, but that's what we've estimated. Our hope is that as soon as we get one side done, we can immediately move on and not slow the project and keep it going. But the way we budgeted it out and the way that we looked at it would be that it would take 1 year to get half the school renovated, and then it would take the next half to get the other one renovated. We also have to make sure we're not disturbing class time too much when we get it set back up. So even if I was able to get this done in April, totally fictitious, we haven't opened the bids, so please don't hold me to what I'm giving you as an example. But if we finished it in April, probably wouldn't be worth trying to move all the students over into the other area to immediately start, because you disrupt their learning before they took their TCAP tests and everything else, and it may mess up the learning environment. So we got to make sure we're trying to weigh out how are we educating the kids, how do we minimize the turmoil that's going on and the churn that's going on while they're trying to learn. That all plays into what we're measuring. And when we open the bids next week, I hope they're lower than we anticipated, and I hope they can get it done quicker than we've anticipated. That would be a dream come true.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Green? Ms. Green's next.
Question. This is for a lease agreement. Did you check cost versus lease?
We did look at that, ma'am, and one of the reasons, and we believe this is the most cost-effective way to go at it. We did look at that. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but one of the things that the board has really made clear to us in some of our last board meetings they want, and it's one of the goals that I've been given in the strategic plan, is to make moves, try to get us out of any modulars. The fear is if we would have bought them, that they would have stayed there. And I think our board is really wanting to make sure I don't have that ability to keep them there. They really want me to get all of our students out of the modulars and get them in closed classrooms as quickly as we can.
One more question, and I'm going back to Miss Peggy's safety issue. And we've had a lot of devastating weather in this part, nice little bit. My concern with the modular is a tornado or something along that line. So I'm going to ask the rude question because I've got grandchildren and I'm an old woman. What is the safety precaution should something go terribly wrong and you have that? Do you let them stay in that modular, or do you pull them out and put them somewhere else?
I actually have not asked that question yet. My belief is, and we'll investigate that, my belief is we'll bring them in and put them into the middle of the building so they're in a safer environment. I see no reason we would leave them outside.
Mr. Bunch, from my experience teaching, when this same situation, we had a safety plan to bring them in immediately.
I can't tell you that I've laid eyes on what Metaview's got documented. I see no reason at all we would want to leave students out in a modular if we have any kind of an alert like that. That makes, from a safety perspective, no sense.
The total, one more question, please. The total that you're looking at for everything, the roads, everything, do you have a figure?
The number that I briefed you all, and you gave the bond out, you gave $13.5 million in bond, and then what we had estimated for the renovation was just under $13.3 million, and then the modulars came in at what we estimated at 1.7. Okay, right now the modulars, what we've got is actually come in lower than that. And so with the bond, and we've also worked with, we started work with Mayor Britton. We're now working with Mayor Cutshaw on additional ARPA money that would make up the difference between those two, and we believe we can execute within those dollars.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It's about
Chairman.
$6.6 million for each of the two schools we're renovating is what I briefed you all at my budget meeting as an estimate for what we thought it would cost just to do the renovation. The added cost was for Meadowview to get the modulars to go in there, because what we're gonna do at Lincoln, we're gonna utilize the old Lincoln Elementary and reposition walls and live out of that for 2 years. And while they're doing that, I will then build a plan for what we utilize for that facility after that, and then look at what do we do to get out of modulars at Hillcrest and Fairview. Those are my tasks to go do.
Commissioner Long?
Well, I'd just like to remind everybody, we're not here tonight to approve anything as far as money-wise. We're here to approve a lease. Anything leased in the county over a year has to come before this commission to be approved. The thing about it here, we're on a 2-year lease here.
Yes, sir.
If it takes longer than that, Mr. Mayor, they will have to come back to us to approve any additional lease time. Is that correct?
That would be correct, I believe, because it's
There's no, is there any way we can go ahead and, without coming back?
Well, this body, I think could add time to that, to give them leeway. It might be something we need to look at and take up later. I mean, tonight we're approving, he's asking us to approve the 2-year plan. I think it's okay, this body understands, and we can bring that back if we need to extend that. I think that'd be the best way to handle it.
Just a little worried about how construction goes.
I'm afraid
You
I don't
know.
have to do that, but
Okay.
I'll do it if we get in the situation and we have to.
I don't think that'll be an issue.
Thank you all very much for all your support. Your 6th March meeting, I sent you the note on. We're going to have that meeting at the Heritage Room in my building. I will get that email out to everybody tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Bunch. Thank you, Mr. Ladd.
With the information we have, now we will make a motion that we add item 8D to finance, which is the Hamblen County Board of Education 2-year lease quotation and agreement with Mobile Modular Management Corporation. I put that form of motion.
No second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Richardson? We've already had our comments. I got ahead of myself a little bit with Mr. Doty. I apologize, Commissioner. Let's call the roll.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
No.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Jim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntston,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next, we will have, excuse me, an addition of an actual section, which we will add Public Service Committee, which will be Order 9, and that is 9A, a 5-year reappraisal plan for Hamblen County. 9B, which is Resolution 25-07, resolution authorizing a continuous 5-year reappraisal cycle. And item 9C, which is a memorandum of understanding between Hamblen County and the Division of Property Assessments of Tennessee, Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury. And I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Have a motion, second, Mr. Long.
Now, I think Mr. Ely has some information for us on this.
What you have in front of you is a 5-year reappraisal plan. We do a 5-year reappraisal plan in this county. It lays out the first 4 years of that plan in this, what you have here, and it lays out what we want to look at. We have roughly 34,000 parcels in this county. We have to review a fourth of those, roughly. So you're looking at 7,400 parcels per year that we'll go out and actually lay hands on, look at. We look for additions to the facility, if it's got anything added to it, taken away from it, any changes at all, and that's what we look at. And we do that. Now, why we do this plan is 2 reasons. It lays out the plan for us for the next 4 years. It holds me accountable, number 2. And number 3, holds you all accountable for funding my department so we can get this done. So that's why they asked for this plan to be approved by the county commission. It's pretty simple. It's the same thing we did back in 2020 that you all approved. We've added a few subdivisions to the plan that we picked up in the last 4 years, like the Horton Homes and so forth, and some other additions we've had. But it's basically the same plan we had 5 years ago when we done this. Any questions?
How do you determine which parcels you look at?
Well, we try to start on the east end and work toward the west end. So that first year, if you look at it on the plan there, we break it out by maps and by quarter. So every quarter, I got to report to the state comptroller's office if I have completed that plan or not. Now, do I sometimes? No, but we make it up maybe the next month. You could have, for instance, I had one, my appraisers, field appraisers was out with knee surgery. He was out 6 weeks. So that gets you a little bit behind, but we make it up. We have never missed a plan since I've been here in 20 years. So we start there, Mr. Long, and we work our way west. So in that fourth year, we're pretty much working the west and a lot of the downtown area at that time. Okay?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Harvey?
Mr. Reed, at one time, wasn't there talk of going away from 4 and 5 years and getting lower, or, am I remembering that correctly, and did that pass through?
State legislature last year, and the comptroller's office was looking, pushing counties go to a 2, 3, and 4 year reappraisal plan. If they had done that, let me back up. Currently, all states or counties are doing 4, 5, and 6. Now, the ones that do the 6 are very small counties, and in that third year, they do what they call an indexing, where they raise prices based off of the numbers they have. But it's not a full-blown reappraisal. Most counties are about 70% of the counties are on a 5-year schedule. Large counties, Knox County and them, they do a 4-year. Now you open up a can of worms. Now the comptroller's pushing for everybody to do a 2-year reappraisal. Don't know the details or how that's going to work, but the purpose of that is you get away from the reappraisal ratio. It also helps county commission and city council do a better job on budgeting because they know exactly what they got coming in. And we have, I'm just going to lay this out too, it's going to be a sticker shock when this reappraisal happens this year. I'm coming back on March the 10th in your all subcommittee meetings and discuss that with you all. But we're going to have the largest increase we ever had in this county in this 2025. Normally over a 5-year period, you'll see somewhere around 15 to 18% increase over a 5-year period. We're probably, well, Jeff County done theirs last year and they was at a 70% increase.
70?
So we're going to be close to that too, 60 or 70.
You're talking about an increase in home prices.
Home prices.
Yeah.
What
Let's
we
not
had,
talk.
No. From appraisals, what we had from set in 2020 to what we're going to set in 2025. Now, I'm getting a little bit ahead of the story here, but when I present this on the 10th, I'm going to present you with 4,700 sales of just residential properties only. And you can see for yourself the difference in that. So I'm trying to prepare you guys, because you'll be getting phone calls from your citizens in your district, so you need to know what's going on. And that's why I'm requested to come in, okay? But once again, the state is looking at doing a 2-year plan. I was on a conference call with a comptroller on Tuesday, and he's really looking to push that 2-year.
But we're staying everything's staying the same right now.
Same right now. It's
Okay.
got to get approved first by state legislature to do that.
Okay.
We don't know what that's going to do to us. I mean, we may have to add manpower, or we may do more like an indexing every 2 years. We do a sampling of 25% of the county, what sales have done over that 2-year period, and then we do an indexing. I just don't know enough about it, Mr. Harville, to tell you a lot.
I'm sorry, I probably got the cart before the horse there, but I was just remember that.
That's where we're at.
Okay, thank you.
So, any other questions?
Forecast, please. Forecast, please. Are you expecting, by what I'm understanding, our prices as far as property taxes to
Not taxes.
jump?
Taxes is your bailiwick. That's not mine.
Okay,
We're looking at about a 60 to 70% increase in property values
okay,
countywide. Some's going to be higher in parts of the county. It's going to be higher. Lake property may be higher. Some other parts of the county could be lower. Now, when we do that, if it is a 60 or 70% increase, the state's gonna come in and certify the tax rate and tell you what your new tax rate is at that point. You cannot bring in any new funds into the county due to a reappraisal. So if your budget brought in $30 million this past year, 2024, you can only bring in $30 million due to a reappraisal. So most people get the sticker shock and they think, oh Lord, my tax is going up 60 or 70%, but it's not the way it works. They could see a small change, and some people's going to see a small change less. Because we do break it out in neighborhoods. We look at neighborhoods. We don't just go in and just throw a number across the whole board. So when we started this back in last June, we've done a lot of work on it, us and the Department of Property Assessment's office in Greenville. So.
Now, one more question. I'm assuming that's not going to affect what I call the green belt status, sir?
Greenbelt gets adjusted also. They look at that also based on what kind of, what they allow you funds for your greenbelt. Yes, that does, based on crop sales and so forth.
Okay.
And it's not going to change. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, everybody can look and see what cost of building a home is now. I mean, if you $325 a foot, basically what everybody's saying now. So, and if you look at, you know, board feet, 1,000 board feet of lumber in 2020 was $244 a foot. Well, during the pandemic, it went to $1,360 some dollars, and now it's back down to $588, and it's been consistent for the last 12 months. But still, that's double than what it was in 2020, and that's when we did our last reappraisal. So that sets the stage that that's a 100% increase. So, I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent. Any other questions?
That's okay.
I'm preaching now, didn't mean
Thank
to.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Do what?
Just go ahead and sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Ely. We appreciate that.
Scared us.
Okay, I guess that takes care of all of our questions or comments. Think anyone has anything else, so call the roll.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes,
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker,
Yes.
13.
The last thing we have is a change, adding Order 9 and Public Services into our business area has us having to move our announcements to number 10 and our adjournment to order number 11. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a second, we have a motion. Any questions? Let's call the roll.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
yes,
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
and Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With those changes being approved, we'll now go back to item 4B, which is the approval of the regular calendar items with the changes that have just been voted on and approved, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Horner, we have a second. Any questions? Madam Clerk, once again.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
yes,
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
I don't know, I forgot somebody, didn't I? Mike Richardson? Mike Richardson?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
It's okay.
13.
We sure miss technology, don't we?
Yes.
Well, I tell you, you get used to it, and you lean on it, and then it's gone, but motion passes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Doty, appreciate that. We move down to item 5, Items removed from the consent calendar, which there were none. Down to item 6, approval of consent calendar.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second, Mr. Harville. Anybody have a question? Call the roll, please.
Debbie Ahern. Yes. Danny Bell.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green.
Yes.
Stan Harville.
Yes.
Bobby Hung.
Yes.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe.
Yes.
Rodney Long.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Mike Richardson.
Yes.
And Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes. Move down to number 7, Budget Committee. Chairman Rodney Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll do 7A, it's the fiscal year, the 25-26 budget plan of action, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second, Mr. Richardson. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Debbie Ahern.
Yes.
Danny Bell.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green.
Yes.
Stan Harville.
Yes.
Bobby Hung.
Yes.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe.
Yes.
Rodney Long.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Mike Richardson.
Yes.
And Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes. Move down to item 8. Once again, the Finance Committee Chairman, Rodney Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll start with item 8A, Resolution 25-06-A, resolution authorizing Hamblen County to accept an award for the funding year 24 Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistant Grant, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second, Mr. Walker. Any questions? Call the roll.
Debbie Ahern.
Yes.
Danny Bell.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green.
Yes.
Stan Harville.
Yes.
Bobby Hung.
Yes.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe.
Yes.
Rodney Long.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Mike Richardson.
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Move to 8B. This is the interlocal agreement between the city of Morristown and Hamblen County for the 2024 Bryan Justice Assistant Grant Award. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second, Mr. Harville. Any questions? Vote the motion.
Debbie Ahern.
Yes.
Danny Bell.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green.
Yes.
Stan Harville.
Yes.
Bobby Hung.
Yes.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe.
Yes.
Rodney Long.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Move to item 8C.
How do you vote, Mr. Richardson?
Yes.
Mr. Richardson votes
Giving
yes.
y'all trouble tonight, aren't I?
Motion does pass.
Move to item 8C, budget amendment. I is a Fund 101, Chancery Court of $5,200, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
Have a second, Mr. Horner. Any questions? Vote to motion.
Debbie Ahern.
Yes.
Danny Bell.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green.
Yes.
Stan Harville.
Yes.
Bobby Hung.
Yes.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe.
Yes.
Rodney Long.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Mike Richardson.
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Go to 8C2, Fund 101, Circuit Court of $1,065. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Reed, we have a second. Any questions? Let's vote to motion.
Debbie Ahern.
Yes.
Danny Bell.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green.
Yes.
Stan Harville.
Yes.
Bobby Hung.
Yes.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe.
Yes.
Rodney Long.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Mike Richardson.
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
13.
Motion passes.
Move to item 8D, the Hamblen County Board of Education two-year lease quotation and agreement with Mobile Modular Management Corporation. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
So moved.
Debbie Ahern, second. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Edna Green,
No.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
and Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chairman Long. We're down to item 9, Public Services Committee. I'll call on Chairman Mike Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 9A is the 5-year reappraisal plan of Hamblen County, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second, Mr. Harville. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9B, Resolution 25-07. It's a resolution authorizing a continuous 5-year reappraisal cycle, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second, Mr. Long. Any questions? Clerk?
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9C, it's a memorandum of understanding between Hamblen County and the Division of Property Assessments for the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Walker, we have a second. Any questions? All right. Call the roll, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Danny Bell,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hone,
Yes.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That's all I have.
Takes care of all of our business for this evening. Before we close out with announcements, I do want to address a couple of things at this time. The first being the campers. I know that's a real hot button issue right now. It's something that we're going to be undertaking. I know it's people worried about getting kicked out of their homes. We're making every concerted effort to keep that from happening. We're putting together a plan that we think will work, and it'll be, as I said earlier, it's going to have the 3 S's: safe, secure, and sanitary. As homeowners, we're required by law to meet certain standards to get a certificate of occupancy. And I don't think that, in my opinion, I think a lot of our commissioners feel the same way, that, we should accept any less from anybody. But we will work to keep people where they are, if that's, I live the best I can, okay? People drive by my house, they may say, well, I wouldn't live in that dump, okay? So, with no judgment whatsoever, we're gonna do our very best. Keep people with a roof over their head. This report from Matt's, if that doesn't highlight things, I mean, it's heartbreaking. And, I was asked on our committee meetings what we did for the homeless as a commission. Well, we don't do anything directly for the homeless, but we do help fund nonprofits that in turn help the homeless, and we're so thankful for them. The other thing was brought up was funding for a volunteer fire department. I get it. I get it. Let me add that we don't just stop with the 75,000. We've helped with the fire truck, some other things. I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. It's kind of like one of those things when you're working for somebody, you want a pay raise, and they say, you know, I want to, but where are you going to get the pay raise from? But we do recognize that they do a tremendous job, and we are looking at ways to try to help more as a county. And quickly, I want to commend Ms. Henderson here, bless her heart. She called that roll, those 13 names over and over, and, well, 12 most of the time. She left Mike out a few times, Mike Richardson. I don't know what she's got against the guy. He's all right. But anyway, all things being equal in what they are, we made it through pretty good. Our next meeting, our committee meetings will be March 10th, 5 o'clock. And our regular commission meeting will be March 20th, also 5 o'clock. Both meetings will take place in this room at that time. We stand adjourned.
This one is Wayne's. Oh, sorry. No, you're fine. You're gonna drop your notebook, please drop it.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. And just keeps me from trying to try to ring.
Nope, you are absolutely fine.
There you might now. It'd be helpful if we got a heads up. But I guess it is what it is.